Alright, I'm gonna do a quick audio check. I'm gonna watch over my own stream to see that audio is okay. Alright, everything looks to be in order. Nobody's here yet. At least I don't think so, but... Hello, this is Tony from Fond Memory Vacation again. It's been a while since I've streamed again. How long ago has it been? Oh, a month almost since my last stream. But as you guys saw, if you watched the VODs or were even present in the streams, I was having a pretty rough time with those games. I feel like I'm pretty capable as a gamer. That sounds super cringe. I feel like I'm pretty capable as a gamer, but between... I don't do streaming as a living, and I think that's pretty obvious, but between talking to the few people who would come in to watch the stream, managing that, coming up with topics, and trying to keep my concentration on the gameplay kind of proved a little difficult. I pride myself in not only being a pretty decent game player, but also, like, what's the word? Also a pretty good public speaker, I guess, or and multitasking, but it's been proving a little different. Although I can manage multiple things at the same time, my attention span does kind of go kaput on me, so I do apologize for that. But with that being said, it doesn't seem like anybody's here yet. There is one viewer here. If you want to, you could say hi in the chat. W is in the chat! I also posted on Instagram that I was streaming, so hopefully someone joins in from that too. But with that being said, I'm gonna start this game. One of my favorite games of all time. What was I gonna say? One of my favorite games of all time. Played it for the first time on the GameCube. Not the first SpongeBob game I've ever played. That lovely title goes to the SpongeBob movie game, and that's the first game I played on PS2. And during the PS2 days, the movie game and the original Battle for Bikini Bottom were developed by Heavy Iron Studios, and they reused... Battle for Bikini Bottom came first, and they reused a lot of those assets when making the SpongeBob movie game. So, me playing the SpongeBob movie game and then trying SpongeBob Battle for Bikini Bottom was mind-blowing, because I was so used to to how linear the levels were in the movie game. So jumping from that over to something... Jumping over from a linear game over to like this open world game was like a big change in pace. And I didn't complete it all the way because, like I said, I did it on GameCube. I started playing this game on GameCube. And originally my main console was the PS2. And I only got to play the GameCube version of Battle for Bikini Bottom because my nephew had a GameCube, and you just so happened to have this game as well. But I only played it in passing whenever I went to his house in order to play that. But ultimately, during COVID season 2020, 2021, I bought the game on PS2, and I played it, and I 100%ed it, and then when I got my PS4 for the first time, I bought Rehydrated. I think it was either one, it was around the time that it came out, or 1 year since that the rehydrated version came out, because it was on sale. So I got it. I 100%ed this game as, and I got the platinum trophy. But I'm starting from 0 again, just because. Why not? Oh, what the heck? Oh yeah, because I tried to run the game earlier today. It's literally a new save file, so it doesn't even matter. What was I gonna say? But yeah, I'm gonna try to do this stream from square one, no pun intended. I'm gonna skip all the cutscenes because this is, I don't even recall when. What's the word? I don't even recall like what playthrough this is already. So one time on the PS2, one time when I first got the PS4, and when I completed it 100% and got the platinum trophy, then I 100%ed it on Nintendo Switch, and then.
Yeah, Gary. It sure looks like we're...
So this ended up being... this is my 4th playthrough.
Breaking news!
So my 4th playthrough, I'm not going to try to speedrun or anything. I'm just going to try to do another 100% of it.
Oh, sparkly!
Just because I love this game so much. No one's joined in again. No one's joined in as of yet, and that's fine. I'm sort of doing this for myself as a form of therapy.
I make myself a snack, but there's no time!
I forgot about that.
Maybe a little bounce on the old bed.
I'm sort of doing this for myself, just because... Ooh, let me take a sip of my water. Because as I've said in previous streams, it's been a minute since I streamed fully. And this sort of like, these streams, which I comically titled, What the Sigma, is, my foray back into streaming. And I'm not doing it for any, like...
This is where I keep all my old comic books.
For the sake of it...
I keep all my old comic books.
Yes, you said that. Anyway, it's my foray back into streaming, and I'm not doing it under the pretense of wanting to become successful or anything, or generate a big, like, fan base or audience. I'm perfectly fine with it being, you know, how it is right now, with the occasional viewer coming through and asking questions. Although it does prove a little bit difficult, and I did have like a little bit of prompts to help me along the way. Oh crap, how do you do this? I've played this game before, I promise.
This is where I keep all my old comic books.
Yes, you said that already, brother. Come on. Oh my goodness, Fortnite installed. Oh my god. I haven't even played Fortnite in a minute. Alright. I remember. It's been a minute since I played this game. Because like I said, the last time I played it was on the Nintendo Switch and I 100%ed it. And then I deleted it off of my SD card storage from my Switch to make space for more games. And then
Sometimes pushing a simple button is the most satisfying. Push, 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 push.
Then I played, what's it called? The Cosmic Shake. And that was a phenomenal game.
This is where I keep all my old comic books. Another find for Patrick.
Oh my lord, shut it. I'm sorry, Sponge. I'm sorry, Spongy. I'm gonna edit the audio here a little bit, because he's kinda loud. Okay, we're good. I don't think I've played this game with headphones before. That's why I'm kind of appalled as to how loud the dialogue is. Everything else has been... every other playthrough that I've had has been through speakers. Like TV speakers. Or the Nintendo Switch Lite speakers. I was watching a video from Nostalgia Trip, the YouTube channel. I'm not sure they're active anymore, but they used to do... Oh my god, hello! How are we doing tonight? I completely lost my train of thought again. Oh, yeah. I'm not sure this YouTube channel is active anymore, but I used to follow this YouTube channel that did Let's Plays similar to Oni Plays or Game Grumps. And they did like a whole series on SpongeBob Battle for Bikini Bottom. And they're when they were doing the tutorial in SpongeBob's house, they're like, "Oh my god, this is Super Mario 64." And I can't shake that feeling, because it's literally Super Mario 64 if it took place underwater and just had the SpongeBob coat of paint on top. Coincidentally, that YouTube channel, Nostalgia Trip, is where I got my stage name of Fond Memory Vacation. Because one of the guys from Nostalgia Trip did the voiceover for one of the Did You Know Gaming videos, another YouTube channel that I used to watch, or watch still occasionally. I used to be really into that channel, but I haven't watched it since then. Because I feel like their direction kind of switched. Because it's a lot more about AAA titles or stuff that like pertains to current video games that I don't really subscribe to or play or anything. But yeah, I used to watch Did You Know Gaming a lot, and one of the guys from Nostalgia Trip, like, he voiced or lended his voice to narrate a video about the SpongeBob license games. And when he did the outro for that video, he's, "Oh, visit my," I don't exactly recall what he said, but he's like, "Oh, if you like this video, you should subscribe to our channel where we did a whole Let's Play series on the SpongeBob Battle for Bikini Bottom game. Our channel is called Fond Memory Vacation. Nostalgia Trip." And that's where the name Fond Memory Vacation was born. Just a little bit of lore. Oh my lord, we have 3 viewers. Hello. Oh man, alright, we're going to Jellyfish Fields. How's everybody doing though? Actually have a decent today. Your phone is lagging out? Squidward. I said I was gonna skip cutscenes, but this is too hilarious to let it go through. Ow! Come on, Squidward. Shut your dumb bubblegum. Alright, guys. prepare yourself for some ruthless M-rated violence. Rated M for everyone. But yeah, that's where the name Fond Memory Vacation spawned from. I don't think it's me stealing it, because it's not like they were using that name anyway. It was just kind of like an inside joke that they had. An inside joke? Would that even apply? I don't know. I even used that voice sample of him saying, the guy from Nostalgia Trip saying Fond Memory Vacation, as one of my producer tags. None of those songs have come out, I don't think, with that producer tag. I've mostly been using, if I have any songs out that have the producer tag, or some sort of producer tag, what's the word? It's usually, voice clips of people saying my actual name, Tony. Like, I have that Lady Gaga, voice clip where she's talking about Tony Bennett, and I just, clipped it and, chopped it, and in my song, You Broke My Heart, I have her in the beginning saying, I love what Tony does. Tony does it, Tony's always got it just right. And I was like, oh my god, this is amazing. Another one that I have used too is from GTA 5. It's a mission, it's a Strangers and Freaks mission where Trevor, I don't even recall. I think Trevor fucks some dude's wife, and the dude is like, Tony, you nailed that bastard, or whatever. And I sampled that too. But that is any song that I use that, producer tag I have not released, and I most likely will not release because Rockstar will sue me into oblivion. Where did everybody go? Y'all don't like me or what? Not enough people join in, and that's fine, but I really would like to do like giveaways and stuff, because either I have a lot of things in my possession that most likely other people will get more use out of than I ever will, and it won't just be collecting dust in my house, and I could give it away to people, or I can like legit get some actual stuff delivered to me and then deliver it, or have it delivered to anyone that wins the giveaway. But that's all in the planning stages, and I haven't been able to execute anything simply because of the fact that there's no demand whatsoever for it. I think of sometimes doing the giveaways even if people don't partake in the content. Because I'm when it comes to any of these endeavors that I have, I don't make money hand over fist, right? I don't really make money. For streaming, I've made some money, but it's literally like, I say this as a joke, I'm like, it pays for dinner. Because the most I cash out for streaming at one time is like 20 or 15 bucks, and I'm like, that goes to dinner. That's not quite rent money, but at least it keeps my tummy fed. It keeps my tummy full, and it keeps me happy. But it sounds like I'm complaining, but I'm really not. I'm really happy that I get to do everything that I do, because all of this all of this was a dream. All of being able to talk to people, being able to perform live, being able to record, produce, mix, master all my own music and have it on distribution platforms. Distribute it to streaming platforms has just been a dream come true, and I I appreciate everybody that has been down for the ride. Even if we've grown apart, or you don't really listen to the music anymore, I just appreciate you having taken the chance in the first place, you know? I harbor no hard feelings, I harbor no resentment or anger or anything like that. I think the only huge feeling that I have is nostalgia. Because I miss people. I miss the interactions. I miss having friend groups, and I'm yearning for that connection again. But time will tell. And I'm perfectly content with how things are right now. I'm making all this music that I'm really proud of. I'm collaborating with people that I love and respect a lot. And they're very talented as well. Besides music, I've also been doing the music videos, which allows me to channel my filmmaker brain. They're quite limited in production value, but it's because I do everything by myself. And I don't really have the leisure or the luxury of having someone film me because of time constraints and conflicting schedules. Because whenever I have like photographs taken of me, it's not like a planned photo shoot or anything. It's literally just an impromptu thing with my friend. It's literally just an impromptu thing with my friend where we're about and we find some photo ops and we're like, oh my god, let's take pictures of each other. And a lot of them are from my friend who, like, when we hang out, we see these photo opportunities and we go through and take pictures or take videos. Like when we went to the beach, and I also recorded that music video for Interconnected Part 2. When we go to restaurants, when we go to the parks. But it's never like, oh, let's meet up solely to do a photo shoot, you know? It's kind of like killing two birds with one stone. We get to see each other, and we get to hang out, and there just happens to be beautiful sceneries and opportunities for photographs and videos. But other than that, I see a lot of artists, even independent artists, that like hire people or just have like their close friends come over just to shoot the video, and I'm like, that's fine and that's beautiful, and I appreciate the fact that other people can do that, but I'm not at that level yet. I'm still working a day job, and it's not super plausible for me to take a time that isn't take a day to shoot a film or to shoot a video with my current work schedule. And if I have a day off, I probably won't be using it to shoot any videos or films. I use it mostly for myself, or to record music, or to make instrumentals and stuff, because it's a lot more manageable, because it's just me and my digital audio workstation. And if I ever do have the opportunity to make a feature film, I'm doing it all out of my own pocket, and I'm not gonna pay myself. I'm literally just gonna pay the talent and the crew, because it's all passion projects, quite frankly. I had an idea for a feature film, but I scrapped it because my budget was $1,000, and I had all these plans. I didn't have a script because I was going to make it like a found footage type thing, and I was going to improvise. But ultimately I scrapped it. It evolved into a different thing entirely, something a little bit more plausible, because despite having the $1,000 budget, it would require me to get like permissions to shoot at specific locations, and I know I wouldn't be able to manage that. Because I had the gear and everything. I had an outline of how the story was gonna go, but my ideas proved too ambitious, especially for my limited amount of. Because I didn't even have anybody signed on to do the project yet. So I got too ambitious, and I was trying to do something that I didn't have the security to do financially, or realistically, I mean. So eventually it evolved into a different project that I didn't have to spend any money on, and I was reviewing that footage, and then I decided, oh, maybe I shot a lot of footage. I think it's more prudent if I use it as make like a web series or like a TV show type thing. But as I kept reviewing the footage, I was like, nah, I don't like this. I'm just gonna scrap it. Because I shot all of that like during. I say this all the time when I'm describing a time where I'm like really struggling mentally or financially, but what was I gonna say? I shot it like literally. I started shooting it when during 2021, or at the beginning of 2022. This was around the time that I first moved out of my parents' house, and I was dealing with a lot of financial stress, and my depression was peaking, as well as my anxiety, and with COVID still being a big thing, it was just a lot to deal with. And I shot a lot of footage over, like, I think I stopped it was from December 2021 to May 2022 that I shot footage for that project. And as I've been like reviewing it, because I kind of put it to the side because I didn't want to see myself in those videos, because it just reminded me of. It reminded me a lot of how I felt during that time, and I didn't want to revisit those feelings, at least not for a while. I wanted to let myself heal first. But then, slowly but surely, I've been revisiting them, and I've used some of the footage that I shot as B-roll footage for some of my music videos. Or even A-roll footage at that point. Just because a lot of those videos were not like salvageable. A lot of them were very like shaky because I shot them either like on like these sunglasses that had a camera in. Not sunglasses. These regular blue light glasses that had a camera in them. I shot the footage with GoPro Hero 3 Black. And some of the footage was shot with a Canon PowerShot camcorder. And then when I got my DSLR, I started shooting some footage with that. But it was just a lot of things to go through, and a lot of it just did not match. Like, it didn't matter if it didn't match, because it was supposed to be this, like, experimental type thing, but it was just too much footage to go through, and I felt like I kind of lost the plot of what that was supposed to be, because it was supposed. When I scrapped the original idea that I had, my project eventually shifted to this sort of like it shifted to this sort of like docudrama type thing where, yes, I was struggling and I was documenting my everyday life. I was struggling and I was documenting my everyday life, but I was also like turning up the knob to 11. Think of like Bo Burnham's Inside film. Something like that, but minus the musical numbers. Of course, the film or the show, I intended for it to have music, but not like musical numbers like how Bo Burnham had. I literally just wanted to make a musical score, like other movies, where it was just like an instrumental tracks to have some audio like backing my movie. But yeah, I kept rewatching it, and a lot of the footage was unusable, or just had like a lot of the footage was either unusable, or I just wasn't happy with the end result, or I lost the plot of what it is that I wanted to do. And I feel like a lot of it kind of put things, kind of put me on the spot in terms of like, oh, maybe I shouldn't have recorded that, or in the sense of like, not no voyeurism type shit, but like, oh, maybe I shouldn't be sharing these private details about myself. I hope I'm making sense. I'm yapping. Because I was struggling a lot, and there's even this video that I shot that's like 7 minutes from that project, where I'm like crying and detailing like what I was going through at the time, and I'm like, nobody has to see this, or nobody has to see this, nobody wants to see it. I'm gonna keep this for myself, or if anything, I'm going to just manipulate it and reuse it for some other film project. Because I had for the footage that I was able to salvage, there is a lot of beautiful shots. And I used one most recently from... I used a shot most recently from that project for one of my new music videos coming out on May 29th, May 30th. It's for my new single, Maybe in Another Life. So yeah, keep an eye out for that. It's coming out May 30th. YouTube, SoundCloud, Spotify, Apple Music, Tidal, Deezer, AudioMac, wherever you stream music, even Amazon. And then the album drops on June 30th. But yeah, I think the desire to make a feature film or some sort of TV show thing that has like a narrative has kind of subsided. I'm trying to be a little bit more realistic about my artistic goals, because even like when I released my first album, I had the ambition or the desire to release vinyl, and then I saw how expensive vinyls were, and I'm like, okay, never mind. I'll just release it digitally, and if there is a demand for CDs or cassettes, then I'll press those myself at my house. But other than that, it's all just going to be digital, and it's going to be for free unless people want to pay me pay anything for the actual music on my Bandcamp, or even like donate to my PayPal or Venmo. But for the most part, people really haven't done that, and any sort of money that I have generated has been through streaming. No, wait, that's actually a lie. Someone, and there has been people that have bought my music, like on iTunes. Someone tried to get a CD from me from Bandcamp, but I gave them a refund because I'm like, oh no, it might have been the CD, or it might have been the physical poetry book for my Butterflies album. Regardless, they wanted some piece of physical merch, and I didn't have it ready. So I sent the money back, and I'm like, I'm sorry, bro. Like, I don't have the physical merch ready for this because the project is not ready. I never heard back from that person, but I don't think there were any hard feelings, and I didn't feel like there was any sort of animosity because I wasn't lying. I didn't have the project ready. Well, I had the actual book ready, but I hadn't finished recording the album, and I didn't intend to release it anytime soon. So I was like, you know what, take your money back. I don't want to hold on to it. Because I just felt a lot of moral... I felt a lot of moral scrupulosity. Like, why hold on to somebody's money for a product that doesn't exist yet, or that isn't widely available in the market yet? I can't bring myself to understand stuff like that, or how people are so okay with advertising something and taking pre-orders or taking someone's money without the product being widely available. I'm trying to think of some examples where that has occurred. I'm thinking of Fire Festival. That's not merchandise, or that's not like music, but people bought tickets, and ultimately what they got was heat exhaustion and cheese sandwiches and tents that were nothing like what was advertised. There's more examples, I just can't think of them right now, where celebrities or artists or anything like that have advertised stuff and either failed to deliver it because it was unfinished, or either people paid for a product that was ultimately shelved because it wasn't finished, or they did release it and it was nothing like the product that they advertised. I'm trying to think. Oh, another situation was the Oliver Tree concert that he at Petco Park in San Diego. A lot of people paid a lot of money for to go to that show, and it was also like a stadium show, which was a pretty big deal for Mr. Tree. But ultimately, I don't know why he's so secretive like that, because he kept shooting himself in the foot, and now people don't know what to think of him. But he got like vocal nodules, and he had to get like emergency surgery, so he had to cancel not the tour, but the show that he was playing at Petco Park in San Diego abruptly.
Oh, Mrs. Puff.
But it was just like, why put all this funding and... well, now that I'm thinking about it, I don't blame him so much. Because, like, who was to predict that he was gonna get vocal nodules? Or anything like that. But it's just like, I don't know. There was just like no communication on behalf of his management or his label. And then ultimately that also affected the rollout for the deluxe version of his second album. So it was just like, oh no. It made him look like a scumbag even though he wasn't like, it wasn't fully his fault. That's like such a... I guess it's kind of messed up to say it's a fun rabbit hole to go down, but it's just interesting to learn and to see how sleazy business decisions can have like severely detrimental effects, not just to the consumer but also the person who is selling the product. Oh, I just remembered that one phone that Samsung had that was like exploding when it started overheating. People get paid good money for that one because that was a flagship phone, only to have it explode in their faces. And Samsung did a lot of damage control. It's amazing to me how they got out of that unscathed and are still continuing to operate. Because they got their tablets, they got their phones, like flagship phones, they got non-flagships, the TVs, they're freaking, I have a Samsung microwave in my house. Do they make fridges? Yeah, I think they make fridges. But see what I mean? They're still around. They're still thriving. And it's just, it's appalling. It's surprising that a company that basically manufactured a bomb is still around. I know it was inadvertently, but it's still like, people don't forgive and forget so easily, especially when there's money involved. I don't know how long I'm gonna do this stream. I think it's going smoother than any other stream that I've done before, or the other two that I did with Crash and Sackboy. I feel pretty very capable. I feel pretty good. I feel like, despite me going off on tangents, I'm able to keep my train of thought and also concentrate on the gameplay at the same time. I just kind of do wish that there was more, like, people here or more audience interactions, just because it gives me more things to yap about, and it makes streams more fun. But like I said in the beginning of the stream, time will tell. And I'm not doing this for, like, for the sake of developing such a big audience, or to, oh crap, or to become the next XQC or anything. It's just, this is just a fun pastime, and if I just happen to be able to create a profit, and that's kind of like a bonus to me. And that's kind of the same mantra that I have for music, for films, for my podcasts, podcast shows that I haven't updated in a minute, and any other endeavor that I've partaken in, with the exception of some endeavors are purely for the money. they're pure. They may be purely for the money, but I don't neglect that I'm still able to have my artistic expression. For example, I was gonna make this song for this contest or competition or whatever. Primarily, I was doing it because even if I didn't win even if I didn't win the contest, there was a stipend simply for participating, if I remember correctly. So I was like, well, shit, I'm making music and I'm getting $70. That is not a bad deal at all. But ultimately, like, it was around the time that I suffered my mental breakdown last year, so I was also like, oh, I don't want to force myself to make this frickin' song. I wrote lyrics and I made an instrumental inspired by Let Down by Radiohead. So I had it all down. I just needed to record vocals. But I was so beat down by mental illness that I was like, is the money really worth it? At that point in time, I did not want to live. I didn't want to live. I didn't want to sleep. I didn't want to eat. The idea of eating caused me so much distress and nausea. I didn't feel like I deserved to eat. It was just a big struggle. So I was like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna shelve this instrumental, and I'm probably not gonna use these lyrics because they're kind of cheesy. And I only really wrote these lyrics because it had to fit the theme of the contest. So I'm probably gonna scrap them. But I kept the instrumental because the instrumental was fire. And now I'm gonna that instrumental is gonna be repurposed. And when it comes out, I'll let y'all know. I'll let y'all know through a website post or Instagram post. A lot of these are passion projects, but if I get the chance to make money, it's just like I'm taking the chance. However, there are stipulations. There are what's the word? There are boundaries that I don't intend to surpass. Like, if let's say, and this is also partly manifesting, that one of my songs blows up on TikTok or something, and I get contacted by record labels or something. I'm not going to sign, because it's basically signing your soul to the devil. And if you're in a bad standing with a label, you're still contractually obligated to work with them, even though you don't want to. That's why one of my I'm naming one of my mixtapes contractual obligation, but I think I'm gonna release it solely on SoundCloud and Bandcamp and YouTube, and maybe AudioMac too, simply because a lot of the songs on those, a lot of the songs on that mixtape have samples that I'm most likely not gonna be able to clear. Oh my lord! But at least I didn't fall in the water. A lot of the songs in that mixtape have samples that I'm most likely not going to be able to clear. For independent artists, or even like artists that don't even exceed 1,000 monthly listeners, I've seen people say that you don't even have to really bother clearing samples, because it's not like the labels are gonna be after you, because you're not making money hand over fist. But I just like being able to have the liberty to not have to worry anxiously that my song could potentially be copyright claimed for a sample that I didn't clear. So I try to play it really safe. But I also take into consideration, like, oh, if my song blows up and if a label tries to screw me over for a sample that I quote unquote didn't clear, by then I'll be in a better financial position and I'll be able to actually fight it in court, or I'll be able to, like, hire like a legal team or something. Point being, I'll be able to work it out. But back to what I was saying in the beginning, if I were offered a record deal, I'm gonna decline if I don't have the leniency to incorporate my existing record label / imprint called where am I going? I'm not signing unless I have like 100% control of all my phonographic and recording copyrights.
Don't look down.
Every time I play this, I think that this platform looks like a breadstick. And not just any breadstick, but either the Olive Garden Italian breadsticks or the breadsticks from Little Caesars. Anyway, so yeah, if they don't give me the leniency to sign and to... If when signing, if they don't give me the leniency to, for lack of a better term, port over my record label / record imprint unknown figure distribution, I'm not signing. And if I don't get my... If I'm not in control, I don't want it, regardless of what the money is. It's easy to say that now, and when they hand me the money, it might be very enticing. But I'm also trying to, like... If anything, like, my goal is to be able to sign a distribution deal with Empire, which is not a record... It's not the same as a record deal, because I still own 100% of the rights, but they facilitate everything for distribution. My current distributor, Amuse, also has this, like, licensing deal similar to what Empire does, where they have these distribution tools, but you're still independent. That's how what's it called? West Side Gun operates, the Griselda Records label, because he has that record label, Griselda, and he has this distribution deal with Empire. So they're kind of like the middleman, I guess. Where West Side Gun and friends still hold their rights, but still have the advantages that any artist would have when being signed to a record label, but still largely remaining independent. Brockhampton also did that too, where they were... I don't know how the hell they did it, is that they had their own record imprint called Question Everything, but they had the distribution deal with Empire, which... Being an almost like... And I don't mean this with any disrespect, but coming from being like a nobody type band, or being nobodies, and having an Empire distribution deal is so like I just want to know how they did it, how they secured a distribution deal with Empire when they didn't really have, if they hadn't like set a name for themselves just yet. Oh, irrelevant. A little bit irrelevant, but remember how I was talking about this game being basically SpongeBob and Super Mario 64? Literally climbing the mountain here. This is literally when you have to fight the King Bob-omb in the first level. What was I saying? But yeah, I don't know how they secured a distribution deal when they were not famous. Because I was looking into getting a distribution deal with Empire, and I even was like looking around on subreddits, and the general consensus is I can't talk to save my life. The general consensus is that you kind of have to be like a well-established artist in order to be able to secure some sort of like distribution deal with Empire, which has led me to question how Brockhampton did it. I don't know, maybe there's some lore that I'm missing, but prior to Saturation 1, it was All American Trash, which it was successful then, but it didn't make the splash that they were hoping for until they released the Saturation trilogy. So I don't know how it is that they secured that distribution deal with Empire, but regardless, I think it's more feasible for me to have a distribution deal and still remain independent with my record label imprint. What's the word? My record label imprint of Unknown Figure Distribution. Because I do not want to be locked into a legal battle where I lose all my recording rights. I want to be able to retain artistic integrity, but I also want to be able to have the advantages that a regular artist signed to a record label has, and still be able to make a profit. But I feel that's still like pretty far ahead into the future. Things are okay the way that things are so far okay with how my distribution is working. Amuse has been pretty good. Sometimes I consider moving over to DistroKid, but having to delist all my music from streaming platforms and start over again with a new distribution is just kind of tedious. I mean, I could do it, but it's just a tedious process. Because I did it before. The first distributor that I had for my music was Rootnote, and I was simply using them because I didn't have like a credit card, or I didn't really have money to be investing into like a distributor. So I was kind of like, okay, Rootnote is their service is pretty good for a free do-it-yourself distributor. So I tried them out. It was pretty good for a while, and then eventually I was like, okay, I need to switch over to something different. And that's where I kind of have this like gripe of wanting to transition over to a different distributor, because despite people who have DistroKid distribution not like really complaining about it or having more control or leniency than Amuse artists, is the fact that I have to do everything myself, and I don't really have the patience or the time anymore. So I think things are okay with how they are, because I'm not even sure of what the rates are for people who have DistroKid. Because I pay $60 yearly, and I have unlimited uploads and stuff like that. And there's more perks that come along with it, but Amuse, I think it's Amuse Pro, which is what I have right now. Because Amuse is a freemium service where it can be free. You can distribute your stuff for free, but they take a bigger cut out of your streaming profits. And it's also just a lot more limited. You can't release music on specific dates. It's just very limited. But you have a lot more leniency with Amuse Pro or whatever it's called. Alright, how many spatulas do I have? Okay, 10. Let me take a look. Alright, we're going to downtown Bikini Bottom first. But yeah, we're remaining independent. We going in, even without a record deal? We're remaining independent. Also too, because I watched this Instagram reel earlier about how BB Tricks was screwed over by Sony, and how they I think she owed them like 2 million euros or something like that. And I'm like, yeah, that's the sort of predicament that I don't want to be in. Like, maybe I'm not going to be as stupid with my money if I'm provided a loan from a record label. Oh, why did I do that? If push comes to shove and I sign to a label and they gave me a loan or an advance with an absurd amount of money, I think I'm going to be a lot smarter with it, and not, because I don't really have desire for, like, material possessions and stuff like that. I feel like I have everything that I could ever want and more. I think realistically the only thing I would want would be a car, but I don't know. I don't know how I really feel about that right now. Still dealing with my car accident from 2021. But yeah, realistically, I would probably get a car. And that's it. I'm pretty happy with where I currently live. I'm happy with my current material possessions. Things are okay. I don't want to be rich, I just want financial stability. I want to be able to not live paycheck to paycheck or worry about how I'm gonna feed myself the next day, or whether or not I have enough money to do a grocery run or something like that. It's a lot of manifestation right now. But I am very grateful for what I currently have, and I'm very appreciative, like I said earlier, of the success that I have had in my current ventures. Because every time I wake up and see my Spotify analytics, for example, seeing one of my songs reach almost 7,000 streams is just so bizarre to me. So thank you so much. And that's why I want to do stuff like the giveaways, just to show my appreciation. Oh no. I just have so many ideas that I want to execute. I want to do live shows and I want to do days there, but I don't know. I've been having, like, whenever I do perform, I don't think I've ever noticed this before. So awesome. Because when I perform open mics, haven't had the best of luck. Or I just don't feel as comfortable. I love playing live, like, don't get me wrong. Being in a public setting and having people looking at me and perceiving me is not a problem. I don't have stage fright, but it's like the environment sometimes. Womp 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 womp.
I don't think he needs a hand.
I get it, cause he's funny guy. Is there anybody out there? What I have noticed in terms of my music is that my ambient stuff is a lot more, resonates a lot more with new potential listeners. So I think I'm really going to focus on that for next year. Not ambient and instrumental music. That is like that's my bread and butter, basically. People really seem to like that. Cause yeah, I was gonna release an ambient album last year, but a mental breakdown happened. Then I went to the hospital and yada yada yada. I got cleared the same day because the social worker who evaluated me said that there was nothing wrong with me and I didn't pose a danger to myself or others. So I wasted a work day and my problems weren't addressed. So I was just kind of like, oh great. Not only did I not receive any sort of help, but I also wasted my time. And around that time I was like considering quitting music altogether because I was just like, I was bad. I was so distressed. I was so anxious. I was so like depressed. I did not want to live. I was dealing with so many adverse emotional effects due to my mental breakdown.
Bringing it around town.
And originally I was going to release the album in September of 2024, the ambient album. And it was going to be a visual album too, because I would have like videos slash films, a film, oh sorry, why am I apologizing? What the heck? I had videos that basically were like a film. What am I trying to say? I had videos that I spliced together. I would have videos that I spliced together in order to create a full feature-length film slash visual album. But I didn't finish shooting it, nor did I edit it at all. So by the time that September 2024 came around, I was like 1 month into mental health recovery, which I got diagnosed with OCD, and I never would have, I never thought I had OCD, but because of how stigmatized it is and how people, or how the media portrays OCD as being like purely contamination and perfectionism, which are definitely subtypes, and they do affect OCD sufferers, even myself to some degree, but it doesn't encapsulate the entirety of the disease. Where was I going with this? So yeah, by the time that the album was supposed to release, I was 1 month into recovery. I'd gone back, I started going back to therapy, I started getting medicated again, but I still had no desire to continue with music. I think I kind of made an indefinite decision to quit music altogether in July, and I even told my friends that I'm like, oh yeah, I'm not doing music anymore. I don't want to be in the public eye. I really hate myself. I'm gonna really hone in on my recovery, and maybe then I'll decide whether or not I want to continue doing music. Let me do something real quick. I need to check the audio. Mic check. Mic check. Oh, okay, we're good. But yeah, at that point in time, this was July 2024, I was like, yeah, I don't want to do music anymore, or I really don't want to do anything else either. Because I just don't want to be in the public eye. People already don't like me, and I don't like myself. So
This door is locked from the...
I was not only making like gradual steps towards my recovery, but I was also like, not only was I making gradual steps towards my mental health recovery, but I was also like, yeah, I don't think I should be partaking in making music, because I've been neglecting my mental health for too long, and I've been disguising it as like, I've been masking it as me healing, and I'm not going to do that anymore. Because prior to the mental breakdown, and prior to me getting laid off from my job in April of 2024, prior to all that, I was experiencing these like manic highs where I felt like, at first it was like a fake it till you make it mentality, but eventually developed into toxic positivity where I legitimately thought that I was better than everybody, and I thought I was perfect, and I thought that I could do no wrong, and that people somehow fucked me over, that they were in the wrong, because how could anybody wrong me? So I was like in a morally grandstanding position, or like putting myself in a morally grandstanding position. What started originally as me masking my insecurities eventually became into this disgusting amalgamation of ego and selfishness, but I didn't realize that, or didn't want to acknowledge that. And even with all that being said, if and when people did screw me over, I said like, yeah, they're wrong for doing that to me, but I also felt like in the position that, oh, I forgive them. It's sort of like Jesus in the sense that, oh, I forgive them because they don't know what they do. Like, who am I to take on that approach? It's just silly. But it was just it's what I was experiencing at the time. It was just the mania that manifested from me masking my insecurities and fear and anxiety because I wanted to seem cool or nonchalant, and I was just masking. The fake it till I made it mentality became a reality. Because I genuinely started to believe that I was perfect, or like something like that. And then when everything came crashing down in July, with my mental breakdown induced by OCD, I reverted back to feeling extremely fragile. All that quote-unquote work/healing that I did was insubstantial. It was all for nothing. But I didn't realize it, and I didn't realize it / I didn't want to realize it. Because the manic highs, I felt so alive, dude. So alive. I felt so, like, capable at my job. I felt, like, because I was also, like, a little bit more overweight than I currently am. But I also was like, oh, I don't care if people tell me that I'm fat. Like I know I'm perfect. I know I'm beautiful. Blah 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 blah. It got that bad where I was like, not only neglecting my mental health, but I was also neglecting my physical health. I was not sleeping well. I was putting all these terrible things in my body. I was smoking and vaping. Like I was just not taking care of myself. But I was telling myself that I was, because I was doing everything that I wanted to do. Wait, I'm back to where I started. Alright, I messed up, but I gotta make my way back. But yeah, really weird times. I went from being insecure about everything, then, oh my god, I did it again. I went from being insecure about everything to putting myself on, making myself feel like I put myself on a pedestal, and then everything came crashing down when I had my mental breakdown. And then I learned what intrusive thoughts were, which is not what people on TikTok make it seem. How do I make my way back up there? There's a shortcut somewhere. Just don't recall where it is. Intrusive thoughts is something that I've dealt with for my entire life. And sometimes I thought like I was pure evil because of having those thoughts, or having the capability of doing or acting out something that I thought of willingly or unwillingly. It just caused me a lot of distress. But in my manic state, I was like, yeah, I'll fucking beat someone up, or I'll do this, or I'll do that, just not to get too graphic. And that's what made it a lot more scary, is that I had intrusive thoughts, and with mania in place, I felt very capable of actually going through with those thoughts. So I was very afraid. I was very afraid of the person that I was becoming. I've never had a problem with taking accountability. I don't think I've ever had really any... Well, I take that back. I have had problems with taking accountability. But I've learned how to take accountability. I've learned that it's not all sunshine and rainbows, and it's something that we all have to face. It wasn't an easy process, but I'm there now. And regardless, I still relapse, and I still struggle. And despite me telling myself that to preserve myself and that I'm not going to make the same mistakes that I made at one point, I am still susceptible to messing up. But what I've heard a lot from people too is that I'm very hard on myself. And another thing is that, wait, let me complete my first thought here. I'm very hard on myself, and I hold myself to an incredibly impossible standard. I've heard this from my sister, I've heard this from my friends, I've heard this even from my therapist. But it doesn't seem like that's true, because if I don't hold myself up to that very incredibly high moral standard, I feel like I'm failing, like I'm falling short of being a person. And with that being said, what was my next point? Brady. Where was I going with that? I was talking about holding myself to an impossible standard. I think I completely forgot what I was trying to say. Regardless, I'm gonna continue on in the same topic, in the hopes that I remember what I was gonna try to say. I've been told that I hold myself to an impossible moral standard, but I sometimes feel that if I don't, I'm failing as a person, and therefore I'm more susceptible to making the same mistakes. I just don't give myself the grace that I give other people. I don't give myself the benefit of the doubt. Oh, now I remember what I was trying to say. I hold myself to this impossible standard, and also what I think is a big deal is most likely not even a big deal. Because when I engage in compulsions or seek reassurance and stuff like that, what I sometimes see, or what sometimes is difficult for me to see, is that OCD distorts a lot of my fears, or a lot of the things that I struggle with. So what seems like life or death to me in this situation probably has no significance whatsoever. But for me, it feels so real, dude. Like, it's impossible sometimes. Like, I could... This seems silly talking about it out loud now, but, like, literally, like, when I was at my lowest, I had violent, intrusive thoughts. And it would cause me so much distress because I felt like I was capable of carrying out those violent thoughts. Like, it makes me laugh now because it seems so absurd, but I really shouldn't be laughing because it's like stuff that I still deal with on a daily basis. I remember I was going to work, I was walking to the train station, and there was construction workers on the side of the road, and this guy was like sitting on the curb on the sidewalk, and I'm like, I'm finna kick this guy in the face. I'm finna kick in his fucking face. in the back of his head and he won't see it coming. And then I immediately reverted back, and I'm like, no, why would you think that? Like, you're a monster. And like, it's an extreme example, but it's like something that did happen. And I was like, oh my god, like, I'm evil, blah 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 blah. So, and not only do I have to deal with this barrage of thoughts, but also what I've done in the past, and the people that I've hurt, inadvertently or purposely so. And see what I mean? It's just a constant back and forth, because I cannot appease my OCD brain. And learning to live with it has been extremely difficult. Because that, what I'm describing more or less falls in line with real event OCD and moral scrupulosity and harm OCD. But I also mentioned that perfectionism and contamination and stuff like that also play a huge part in the disease, and in my experience as well, where things have to be a certain way, or they have to be just right. If not, I'm not able to function. Like if, for example, like taking a shower, I have to be able to clean every I have to be able to clean every section of my body. If not, I'm dirty, I'm tainted, and I cannot go outside. People will smell me and be offended by my odor. Like, it seems absurd, but it's like things that genuinely scare me, and they seem so real. Like, it ties into different insecurities, like me being self-conscious about my body odor, or like being perceived in public, the way I look. All of that ties together, and it's just me constantly at a war with myself, or a war with my brain, because I'm like, just let me live. Tell me that I'm able to eat, tell me that I'm able to eat a chocolate bar and not have the fear that I'm developing diabetes, when I've literally only consumed a chicken Caesar salad or a sandwich, and I drank water. Please just say that, like, the chocolate bar, the Kit Kat bar that I'm gonna have today won't be the result of me developing diabetes. I remember in high school that was a big theme for me, like health OCD, where I was texting my friend. I'm like my blood sugar is low. I'm almost certain that I'm dealing with diabetes symptoms. I'm not going to be able to live. I'm not going to be able to do anything in my adult life. And she's trying to reassure me that, like, even if I did have diabetes, which she doubted that I had, that things were okay and that I would still be able to lead a normal lifestyle. It was just a matter of taking care of myself. But it didn't provide me any relief. It didn't provide me anything. I still felt like I couldn't function. I needed the certainty that I didn't have diabetes. Because if I can't have certainty, I can't live, I can't function. And it's just something that I've had to learn to do. Is to learn how to live, or learning how to live with uncertainty. Which I know I have the capability of doing. Because as a kid, I've confronted uncertainty. When I would go to pre-K and not be around my parents, when I would go to kindergarten and have a pissy fit because I was separated from my parents again, and then eventually going to elementary school, and then getting bullied, and not knowing whether or not I would have an actual good day and stuff like that. Like, I've been able to confront all these battles, and I know I'm capable, but it just... OCD distorts everything and it makes it seem so difficult. And I feel genuinely hopeless sometimes. While we're on the topic of this, of OCD, and I'm playing playing SpongeBob too, there's this episode from season 2 called Squid's Day Off, and the way that Squidward is procrastinating, but also, like, because he left SpongeBob alone in the Krusty Krab just so he could have his day off, and procrastinate and not do anything under the guise of him running errands, and him constantly having intrusive thoughts of, like, the Krusty Krab burning down, or SpongeBob's accidentally giving somebody too much change, and then running over there and feeling stupid for even thinking that something could be wrong. It's literally that's the best way to describe an OCD loop, is thinking about the worst possible outcome, proving it to yourself that it is so far gone from reality, or if it's not far gone from reality and that it could happen and maybe it's not a big deal, you have some relief for a little bit, and then it comes back full force. It's such a vicious cycle, and in a twisted way, I am happy that I'm dealing with all this, because I've been able to learn a lot about myself, and I've been able to learn a lot more about nuance and subtypes of OCD and stuff like that. But sometimes I just yearn to know what it feels like to not be constantly at war with myself or at war with my brain. Because everyone experiences intrusive thoughts. That's just a given. That's just human nature. But for everybody that doesn't experience OCD or has OCD, those intrusive thoughts are very fleeting. Not for OCD sufferers. Those intrusive thoughts become our reality. They encapsulate us. They consume us. It's just crazy how the human mind works, the human brain. They need to bring lobotomies back. We could help a lot of people, myself included. Nah. I don't know if y'all have, like, like, everybody knows what lobotomies are now because of the memes and stuff, but, like, all that stuff is scary, dude. All that stuff is scary, dude. One of the most famous cases is JFK's sister, who underwent a lobotomy, and her personality changed so drastically that she was she was literally unrecognizable. I don't recall if she ended up in a vegetative state, but point being is that medical science has advanced so much, and we understand the brain so much, but we're also in this weird paradox where we understand so much, but we also understand too little. I sound like I'm high. I'm not high. These questions and all this stuff that I'm talking about, it sounds like a blunt rotation. Alright, collected all the steering wheels. I don't really know if I want to do the bungee jumping stuff yet. I think I'll wait. Wait, what is this? Come back with the cruise missile. Yeah, I don't want to do the bungee jumping stuff right now. I'll finish the Mrs. Puff thing. And I think with that, I'm going to finish the stream.
SpongeBob. Wow, there were these robots.
I don't know what I'm gonna stream next. I kind of want to do it every week, but I also don't want to what's the word? Pressure myself or do a schedule that create a schedule that I know I won't be able to meet. So I'll do what I've been doing since I did the Crash Bandicoot stream. Is I'll advertise it the day of, or I'll advertise it like 12 hours in advance to see if anybody is interested in watching. And then actually doing the stream itself. I'm probably gonna stream this game again later on for the next live stream. I kind of want to have some guests too. I might inquire about that. I might ask some buddies if they want to join in, either to play games as well or just to yap it up. So I could have someone to kind of like bounce off. Oh my god. Wait, I have 16. I could do the Poseidon later. Okay.
Wow, SpongeBob, you
Alright, let me get my money up.
Did you find my lost socks?
Alright, where's Crabs? Give me my money. Alright, I'm getting my money up before I end the stream. I'm gonna see the threshold for the next... Okay, never mind. He's not gonna tell me the threshold for the other gems. I mean, the other shiny objects. Oops! Let me save the game. But yeah, this was fun. I can't wait to do this again. This was genuinely like enlightening, and being able to talk about random subjects that I'm passionate about was really fun. And having people occasionally drop in and to watch too was pretty great too. Thank you so much for watching, I guess. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you once again for indulging in my content, my music, my films, everything else I've ever done. I really appreciate it. I love you. Have a good night. If you work tomorrow, have a good day at work. If you have school tomorrow, have a good day at school. Wait, no, it's May. Maybe we don't have school. If you have any other commitments tomorrow. I hope those all go well. I love you, take care of yourself, and yeah, this is Tony from Fond Memory Vacation, signing out. Have a good time.